Okay. It is Friday, April 5th, 2024, 5 p.m. This is a regular monthly meeting of the Augsburg Bridge and Port Authority. This meeting is called to order. Mr. Lawrence, do we have any letters of communications to the board?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, approval of board minutes. February 8th, Finance Committee meeting. Have they been reviewed?
Yes, they have, Mr. Chairman, and I would move for there. Do you want to move them all at once?
Yeah, let's do all.
Okay, I reviewed those set of minutes, and I would move for their approval.
Okay, so the February 8th board meeting, the February 29th Child Care Initiative meeting, and the February 29th special board meeting. All have been reviewed and there's no changes
No, I
needed?
only did the one.
Oh.
I think you reviewed the others.
Yes, I was able to read and review all of them. They are accurate, complete, and I move to accept.
Okay, so you're making a motion to accept all four?
Yes.
And Mr. King concurs?
Yes.
Okay, motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
And seconded. All those in favor of approving the board minutes of those four meetings, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? They are approved. Reports, presentations and reports. Committee report. Finance Committee, Mr. King?
Sure, yep. Finance Committee met here just a little bit ago and reviewed the financial reports, and Patty was not able to make it due to other commitments that she's at, so Jen gave us some walk us through the reports, and they, in an effort to help Jen, we're going to dispense with the rest of that, because everything is basically right on where we expected it to be from the budget and everything, and so I would say everything's in order the way it should be.
Okay. Anyone have any questions? No? No questions of the Finance Committee? Okay, we can move on. That also included the income and expense report. Is that correct, Mr. King?
Yes.
Thank you. Bridge traffic report?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. March overall crossings were down by 13%, but this is a combined meeting, so the February numbers were in there, and if you'll notice, they were at 9%, which is down, which is a really good improvement, unless you take into account that February had an extra day. So that we're kind of still in line, but we're ever improving. But I will talk about where we are right now with March. Auto crossings were down 14%. Truck traffic was down 10.6 over 2019. And overall revenue was down 13,000 over March of 2019. The good news is we're 20,300 over last year's March revenue. We just, as a note, we've made preparations at the toll booth, and with the eclipse coming on, we've got all toll lanes up and running, and we will be running the southbound lanes through the weekend, and then after the eclipse, the northbound lanes will be quite busy, we anticipate, with Canadians returning back. But that's been our focus, will be our focus right through the Tuesday morning. And a side note too, we do have some reservations out at the airport. We're taking a lot of inquiries and overflow from Saranac and Watertown, and we've made preparations to receive those overflow aircraft, and we have nothing planned there, and partly because we've got to look at two different, between the airport and the bridge, we've got to take into account we can't man to have some kind of happening or anything at the airport, even though if the weather's good, it'll look like, we're just taking people in, but we don't have anything there for added comfort or things like that. But part of that is we're short on help to be able to handle two of those in an event like this. So we'll do our best just to make sure everyone has a safe experience there out at the airport. Any questions on bridge traffic or eclipse planning?
Nope. We'll move on to, trying to address if there's any questions on the airport activity report. I know Charlie's not here.
Yeah.
He
anybody
has
got
submitted
questions on
his
that?
report. We don't have March's flights or employment.
No.
Correct?
Correct.
And we're way off with
Yeah.
the minimum
Yeah.
needed for each month to reach the 10,000. How much longer do we have before we request bids for service at our airport?
Everyone's waiting for the announcement of requests for proposals for that from US DOT.
Do we anticipate that being this month?
Yes, we thought it would be happening by now, but it's just what happens with the federal government there. So we're keeping our fingers crossed. The earlier that gets out, the more time we have to review the proposals.
Okay. Thank you. Are there any questions on anything dealing with the airport? If not, we'll go to port. James?
So for the month of February, there was 15,681 tons trucked out of the highway salt, 3,984 tons of the blue treated salt. For the meal and pellets, there was only 63 ton trucked out. And for the month of February, we are now taking an overflow from Cardinal. You can see where the 33.22, that was actually trucked across the border to our facility where we now have it in inventory, store it until customers are ready. And then approximately 190 tons of pellets trucked out, and we received 2 rail cars of pellets. For the month of March, we were down to 6,212 tons trucked out and 978 tons of the treated salt, which we're getting quite low on inventory. But I think we will make the season. There was a little bit of, from the last couple storms in late March, early April, so we've actually got quite a few orders still in the system. As of yesterday, still a couple thousand white untreated, the highway salt. So we're not done yet. And for meal in March, there were only 2 trucks, but we did receive 6 as overflow from Cardinal. So that increased inventory. And there were 31 tons trucked out for pellets, and we received 6 rail cars. And for the next, I had Karen add a photo. We have all of the pieces from the Chrissy grant shown here. It's a 150 kilowatt generator that has a couple sets of cables that run to each. There's a hopper conveyor on the right that is cut out of the picture a little bit, and another set to the telescopic stacking conveyor. The conveyor is 150 foot long, but it actually covers 138 feet. So between the 30-foot hopper conveyor and the 130-foot stacker, we will now be able to move product over 150, 160 feet to a new location, which will hopefully greatly decrease wear and tear on the loaders and can increase efficiency. So it was nice to finally get all the pieces together and put together.
So other than these two pieces, we had what, the front end loader? What was the other piece?
The rail car unloader.
Rail car loader. Now we have all four.
Yep.
Good. Any other questions of James regarding board activity?
Just a quick note, we did have a few interested customers in pretty much all in the ag business. Inquire on storage, flat storage, bin storage, vessel to a building storage, and then actually that same vessel to building may turn into loading into super sacks, 1.25 ton super sacks, and then trucked out of the port. All early stages, but it was last couple months where it was nice to have some feedback and some interest. So, and one of those was from Mr. King.
Yeah, good.
What do we still need to make those bins more useful?
Dryers.
That was part of the inquiry, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Just-
When the visit, when the guy came, I think he was looking at the upright bin.
The need for a dryer?
Air, at least air handling system.
What are we looking at?
Well,
Cost, any
I
idea?
don't know.
Don't know now, is in the specs.
Yeah, I think we got a price for just air of somewhere around 200,000. But when you get into drying and all that, you had a number there that
That's a lot more money.
was quite a bit more.
But that's what makes it useful, isn't it? The dryer?
I think this customer was looking at it for bean storage, and so you would probably not need drying. Air would probably be all you need.
Okay.
So.
Good.
Soybean storage.
Would gladly accept that. Good. Anything else of James? Anthony's not here for the economic development report.
I can just talk a little bit there. Everything's pretty much the same. There will be something in the resolutions for an additional, we have a current customer or current tenant that's going to take more space. So that changes a little bit, Commerce Park. And then he was able to, all of the leases for the hangars, not all of them, but a number of them will be taken care of in this, when we do resolutions there. So it's pretty stable as of right now with that. And then we don't have some of the space that we would like to have in order to, for inquiring customers. There's just there's smaller spots, but not big enough for any of the inquiries that we're getting.
We have room in building 4 basically, don't we?
That's part of what that's going to be taken up with T-Base. A good
So
portion of that.
We're out of business in the industrial park, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, for any, there's a few spots here and there, but it's very kind of specialized space that, somebody inquiring about, office space or any kind of small manufacturing, we don't have it.
Might need to schedule another road trip. I don't like being out of space. Anthony he doesn't have anything to do with out of space. Right? He's already been to the embassy, so
Yeah.
he's good.
Check.
Any other questions of Steve regarding economic development? No? Any unfinished business, Mr. Lawrence?
No, Mr. Chairman.
All right, general administration. A1, approval of credit card policy.
Go ahead, Jen.
The Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority has had credit cards through Bank of America for some time. However, there are old cards or recurring charges on old credit cards that the authority has that are in the names of employees no longer in employment. Seeing this as a great opportunity to start over, the authority has obtained new credit cards through Community Bank NA. A new credit card policy attached will accompany the new credit cards. Staff recommends accepting this new updated policy for OBPA credit card holders. Resolved that the Chief Financial Officer is hereby authorized and directed to introduce a new updated credit card policy for all employees who will be able to use company credit cards, including the completion of the signature page.
Which is included in that policy
Correct.
Yes.
on the last page. Is there a motion?
Also moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Karen, call the roll, please.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Griffin?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes,
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
thank you. Agenda item A2, approval of the use of New York State travel manual.
With the institution of a new credit card usage policy for the Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority, staff realized that as a matter of housekeeping, the travel policy has not been reviewed by the board of directors in some time. The authority follows the travel manual as updated by the Office of the State Comptroller, State of New York. Staff recommends the use of the New York State Comptroller's February 2024 travel manual to update this travel policy. Resolved that the Chief Financial Officer is authorized and directed to update the Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority's travel policy following the February 2024 New York State Comptroller's Office travel manual and make future revisions based upon updates from the State Comptroller's Office.
I have to follow that too, just so you know.
You know it pretty well.
I do know it pretty well.
Okay.
Is there a motion
So moved.
made? Is there a second?
Second.
And seconded. Any discussion? Karen, call the roll, please.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes,
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
thank you. Next is agenda item A3, renewal of an existing line of credit with Tompkins Community Bank.
For this one, we're just gonna read the report. The Board of Directors of the Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority approved a line of credit with Tompkins Trust Company on November 15, 2017. The line of credit was renewed on February 11, 2019 by board approval. In the interim, Tompkins Trust Company became Tompkins Community Bank. Tompkins Community Bank has agreed to renew the term of the line of credit, again, with a revised expiration date of June 28, 2025. The resolution of February 11, 2019 remains in full force and effect.
Thank you.
Jen, do we have to read the resolution?
Oh, you can just say as presented.
Huh?
You can say as
Okay,
presented.
just checking.
Yeah.
And you
I was gonna say, you have reviewed this?
I have, yeah.
Yeah,
Patty
she
and I
was
went through
involved
this
with
a few
quite
times.
heavily, so.
Generally, then what do we use that for?
This line of credit, different things for projects, whatnot, the general line of credit was actually used to cover some of our expenses recently. So as
It's
needed.
kind of bridge funding, and I don't mean that bridge.
Probably.
We have to say that a lot. Operational.
Operational funding. Okay, is there a motion? Made,
Second?
seconded? Any further discussion? Karen, call the roll, please.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Okay. Keep waiting for more. I forgot there's only 4 of us. Agenda item A4, approval of HVAC service agreement.
The HVAC systems at the border station location must adhere to standards set forth by the GSA lease. The equipment at the border station is manufactured by Trane. The current maintenance agreement with Trane is set to expire. As Trane is a manufacturer for the border station HVAC units, its maintenance and repair would be best serviced by Trane. Trane is an Office of General Services certified contractor and definitely able to perform these related tasks. And the agreement includes scheduled maintenance, lab analysis, and refrigerant disposal and documentation of which just to fill you guys in, is a New York State requirement to report it. So they've been able to provide that.
James, because the numbers aren't in the first part, could you read the resolution part?
Nope, I will.
Yeah.
Yep. Resolved that the Director of Operations is hereby authorized and directed to execute a purchase order with Train to extend the annual service agreement at the border station at a cost not to exceed $10,634 annually, or $2,658,050 quarterly.
Train put the equipment in and whenever we had that done.
Yep.
I can't remember how many years ago that was.
2004.
2004.
That far back?
And we've replaced the main building units probably 4 or 5 years ago. And then one other, when James talks about the OGS, this contract is an OGS service contract.
Okay. Good. Their motion
Also move.
made
Second.
and seconded. Any discussion? Karen, call the roll, please.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Pittman?
Yes.
Mr. Byrne?
Yes. Agenda item B1.
Agenda item B1 is the approval of the lease supplement number 1 with MAC Global Design. Staff has negotiated lease supplement number 1 with MAC Global Design Incorporated for 220 square feet of office space in suite 207B of the Bridge Administration Building for 1 year period commencing April 1st, 2024 and terminating March 31st, 2025 at the rate of $16.52 per square foot, equaling $302.87 per month, or $3,634.40 for a 1 year period, inclusive of utilities. All other terms and conditions of the original lease shall remain in force and effect and are hereby ratified. That's a second floor building or second floor office that this company's been kind of with us, and they're hoping to get started. They're kind of an engineering firm, and they're looking for business over here, so they've kind of kept a presence there. Haven't been very busy lately, but it's good to see they're still interested.
Good. Their motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Karen, call the roll, please.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Pittman?
Yes.
Mr. Byrne?
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Agenda item B2.
Item B2, approval of the lease supplement number 4 with Glendon Jones. Staff has negotiated lease supplement number 4 with Glendon Jones for 292 square feet of office space in suite 210 of the Bridge Administration Building for 1 year period commencing April 1st, 2024 and terminating March 31st, 2025 at a rate of $9.55 per square foot, equaling $232.38 per month, or $2,788.60 for a 1 year period, inclusive of utilities. All other terms and conditions of the original lease agreement shall remain in force and in effect and are hereby ratified and affirmed.
Thank you. Motion
So moved.
made
I'll second.
and seconded. Any discussion? Karen, call the roll, please.
Ms. Pittman?
Yes.
Mr. Byrne?
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Agenda item C1.
Agenda item C1 is in the Commerce Park campus. It's the approval of the lease supplement number 12 with T-Base Communications. This is the extra space I was talking about in Building 4. Staff has negotiated lease supplement number 12 with T-Base Communications USA for 4,892 square feet of commercial space in Building 4 at the Commerce Park campus for 13-month base period and 2 and 1 year optional periods commencing March 1st, 2024 and terminating March 31st, 2025 through March 31st, 2027 at rates outlined in the table below. So you can see there that the square footage is at, I think that's at the rate they're currently paying, and then it goes up accordingly for the other next 2 years. So T-Base Communication USA is responsible for its prorated share of all utilities. All other terms and conditions of the original lease agreement shall remain in full force and effect and are hereby ratified and affirmed.
Okay. Will this result in any increased employment, do you know?
I don't believe, well, I can't say for sure. I think there might be some additional employment with the space. I think they're looking for more efficiencies with the added space. They have grown quite a bit in the last 2 or 3 years. And at times they've explored just consolidating, and we've just never had the right space for them. And if you'll remember, I think at times we did talk about building something there, and it's just never quite taken off.
So this puts them here until the end of March of 2027.
Yes, and they've been one of our best tenants and very solid.
Good. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second? Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Karen, call the roll, please.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Agenda item C2.
Agenda item C2 is in the Commerce Park campus. It's the approval of the lease agreement with West End Asset Management doing business as the stock ticker company. Staff has negotiated a new lease agreement with West End Asset Management doing business as the stock ticker company for 500 square feet of warehouse space in Building 1 of Commerce Park campus for a 2-year period commencing January 1st, 2024 and terminating December 31st, 2025 at a rate of $8.25 per square foot, equaling a total of $343.75 per month, $8,250 for a 2-year period inclusive of utilities.
This is a new company?
No, they've been with us.
West End Asset.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, I want to say 3 or 4 years anyway. They've got a small space over in Building 1.
Good. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Made and seconded. Any further discussion? Karen, call the roll, please.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes. Oh, need a motion to table this one.
We'll have to table it.
Agenda item C3. Need a motion to table.
I would move to table the discussion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Reason for that is Live Fast Motors is my son's company. Agenda item D1.
Agenda item D1 is out at the Ogdensburg International Airport. It's approval of a T-hangar lease agreement with Frank Richardson. Staff has negotiated a new lease agreement with Frank Richardson for T-hangar number 2 at the Ogdensburg International Airport for a 1-year period commencing August 15th, 2023 and terminating August 14th, 2024 at the rate of $215 per month, $1,505 for a period of August 15th, 2023 to March 14th, 2024, and $240 per month, $1,200 for the period of March 15th, 2024 through August 14th, 2024, inclusive of utilities.
Is that right, Mark?
Yeah, part of that, Anthony can say that there was some, and I can't speak to it, but there was some delay in getting this put together with the tenant. So that's why you see the 2 different rates.
Okay.
Just to be fair, but also, we're farther along. We're almost through the good part of the lease there.
Right.
So we're just getting that back up to where it should be, especially in August when this expires.
Okay. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Made and seconded. Any discussion? Karen, call the roll, please.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
You. Agenda item D2.
Agenda item D2 is at the Augsburg International Airport, the approval of a T-hanger lease with Keith Weston. Staff has negotiated a new lease agreement with Keith Weston for T-hanger number 4 at the Augsburg International Airport for a 1-year period commencing October 1st, 2023 and terminating September 31st, 2024 at the rate of $215 per month, $1,075 for the period of October 1st, 2023 through February 29, 2024, and $240 per month with $1,680 for a period of March 1st, 2024 through September 31st, 2024, inclusive of utilities. Similar issue.
Motion?
I'll send it.
Second? And seconded. Any discussion? Karen, call the roll, please.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Agenda item D3.
Agenda item D3 is at the Augsburg International Airport. It's the approval of the T-hanger lease with Pete Bogardus. Staff has negotiated a new lease agreement with Pete Bogardus for T-hanger number 6 at the Augsburg International Airport for a 1-year period commencing September 1st, 2023 and terminating October 31st, 2024 at the rate of $215 per month, $1,290 for the period of September 1st, 2023 through February 29th, 2024, and $240 per month, $1,440 for the period March 1st, 2024 through August 31st, 2024, inclusive of utilities.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
And second? And seconded. Any discussion? Karen, call the roll, please.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes. Agenda item D4.
Agenda item D4, Augsburg International Airport, approval of T-hanger lease agreement with Frank Richardson. Staff has negotiated a new lease agreement with Frank Richardson for T-hanger number 10 at the Augsburg International Airport for a 1-year period commencing August 5th, 2023 and terminating August 14th, 2024 at the rate of $215 per month, $1,505 for the period of August 15th, 2023 through March 14th, 2024, and $240 per month, $1,200 for the period of March 15th, 2024 through August 14th, 2024, inclusive of utilities. I think, isn't that first one, August 14th, 2024 should be February 29 of 2023. It's similar to the others, because if you look at this, that looks like a 1-year. You see what I'm talking about?
August 15th, 23.
Yeah.
And it's at 215 where
Yep.
it should be February, I believe that should say February 29th, 2024.
Like the previous one.
And the previous one was the same.
Yeah.
Yep.
There, am I seeing that right or not?
Last one.
The two Frank Richardson ones, the dates.
Yeah.
Well, the other one's March, or
September 1, terminating August 31st, 24. Period.
1-year period, August 20. I guess he's talking about, well, when you read it, it looks like the two. I guess
That's just-
it's correct.
No, I think it's correct.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
just looks, well, I'm just saying that, yeah, okay. But it looks like you're charging $215 per month for the whole. Never mind.
We're good?
Yep,
It's the extra day in February.
I know. You threw me off, Mr. King. I was all set. It just enters my mind.
Okay, is there a motion
So moved.
made
Second.
and seconded? Any further discussion? Karen, call the roll, please.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Pickman,
Yes.
Mr. Burns.
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy,
Yes.
Agenda item E1.
Agenda item E1 is at the Port of Ogdensburg. It's the approval of a handling and storage agreement with Morton Salt. Morton Salt is one of our tenants or one of our customers. And they've asked for a new handling and storage agreement. So they have rates to put into any of their contracts. Staff has negotiated a handling and storage agreement with Morton Salt Incorporated for de-icing salt cargo at the Port of Ogdensburg for a period of 3 years commencing April 1st, 2024 and terminating March 31st, 2027 at the rates provided below. Dockage is, the rate is 20 cents per gross registered ton. Warpage and receiving is $5.65 per short ton. Truck loading and scaling is $2.34 per short ton, and storage is 17 cents per short ton per month. Rates are subject to an annual adjustment on the anniversary date of the agreement, and the amount of the increase in the consumer price index, U.S. cities average 1982 to 1984 equal 100 over the preceding year, or 3%, whichever is greater.
How does that compare with what's in effect now?
It's an increase. We've,
All of them are?
yes, and they're all similar, all of our agreements.
And I know Martin doesn't always have the contract, so this is in case they do.
Our partner always points out that until you bring in pound one, you have nothing. So to call it a contract or anything like that, that's just the nature of ports. You basically give them rates, so at any time they know what they can apply to that. But if you look at it as, we have a contract with them, if they don't bring in pound number one, you end up with nothing. So that's kind of what we've gone to with this.
Just makes it in place, whatever happens.
Yeah, and then anything comes along, if it's a value added thing that we have to do or anything like that, we can do a supplement to that and adjust as we go.
Right. Good. Their motion
Also,
made
Second.
and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, Karen, call the roll, please.
Ms. Pickman.
Yes.
Mr. Burns.
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item E2.
Agenda item E2 is at the Port of Ogdensburg, and it's the port dock expansion approval of a work order number 24-01 with FVD Engineering Services, which goes under the name FOTH Engineering. This is associated with the MARAD grant that we just got, so I will do the report here. FVD Engineering Services SC has provided the authority with work order 24-01 agreement to perform National Environmental Policy Act, NEPA, environmental assessment, BEA, services for the terminal and modified dredge disposal location as part of the channel deepening project at the Ogdensburg Harbor. The scope of services for this contract will be complete upon the finalization of the drawings and specification for the optional design. The NEPA is performed as a task to move towards a MARAD grant agreement. Any work performed prior to the grant agreement is not eligible for reimbursement under the MARAD PIDP grant. This work will have to be funded solely by the Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority. Work order number 24-01 FVD costs associated with providing these services are on a time and materials basis in order to provide the most flexibility to move the project forward with a total amount not to exceed $32,000. FVD will require services from subcontracted firms to provide cultural and historic phase 1A and 1B services for a cost of $7,150. The total FVD proposal cost requiring board approval for a cost not to exceed $39,150. Staff recommends approval of this agreement with FVD Engineering Services, SC. This is one of those, we accept the grant agreement, which is 5.1 million. It's kind of a catch-22 that we have to do this work in order to submit all of the things that are required to actually get the grant rolling. We are going to ask the MARAD people if we can include these costs as part of the grant. There is some kind of room for that, but generally their line is any work done before the grant is in place is not eligible. But in order to keep the project moving, unfortunately, we've got to go through with this. And some of this is a result of where we put the dredge spoils is going to be changed. It used to be, it was going to be out at the airport when the the Corps of Engineers was going to do that. We're going to move this. There's a location over in the park that I think will work. And just so you'll know, a lot of it won't be digging down and you're not excavating at all, but you will strip topsoil. So you move the topsoil along and then put it back over the dredge spoils. But because we're moving soil, they're requiring us to do cultural and historical thing on that, even though you're only removing maybe 6 or 8 inches of soil. You can't get around that, even though we feel it's minimal. That's just what the feds are telling us on that.
So because we changed the disposal site, that makes this a requirement.
Correct.
That now we have to make sure there's no environmental issues on the new site.
And we weren't totally approved for the disposal site out at the FAA.
That was a proposed, right?
That was a real difficult lift, and it never was totally blessed, I would say, or with the Coast Guard project. So to kind of eliminate problems, we proposed that area over there just because then you're taking the FAA out of it.
Right.
And the only people you're dealing with now is all the DEC, the EPA, and different ones that are involved in the NEPA. You've heard that before.
Yep.
But
So actually the dredging will be less than what would have occurred
be a lot less,
if the
yes.
Corps was involved in it.
Correct. Yeah, the magnitude is only a fifth of what it would have been. So that was the other argument for that kind of material that we're removing. It's just not worth stirring up that just to make that happen. So, but as you can see, these are the other spin-offs of that. In order to get the 5.1 going and the project going,
right,
we've got to do this ahead of time.
Right.
But we'll work. Both has done projects with MARAD before, and
okay,
they've got an expert that may be able to help us get some of that done.
I think when I read this over, I did have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the timetable from when they start this to when it's completed, did I read that right? That it goes through basically this entire calendar year?
Yes, we were ready to bid the original project without that part of the MARAD grant, which is the dredge or the deepening. So we would have bid that this year, and it would have been half of this year and into next year. We'd be done with the expansion. But since we went out for it's not just a simple, that's what's driving that, is that we've got to meet all the federal regulations involved with accepting that money.
Okay.
And they tell you right outright, expect anywhere from 3/4 of a year to a year and a half before they're ready, And and the thing is, a lot of it we've already got done. So you're submitting that, but for example, the NEPA that we did have isn't acceptable to them. So then now you gotta go through that all process, so you're adding another 4 or 5 months there.
So the expansion won't start until 2025.
Yes. It's going on 9 years.
I'm not sure if I have less patience as I get older.
We're all older. Did that answer your question on the schedule?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Not happy with it, but I wanted to make sure that's what it said. The exclusions that it talks about under item 7, we're
Mhm.
good with all that?
Yes, yeah, all of those, a lot of them, they're just saying a lot of that has either been done, and they're just saying that, if we have to do any of that, then that'll have to be, added to the work order, but we don't see that unless they change their mind, but as we see it, that shouldn't be additional right now.
Good, you know
'Cause I
how
know
I
how you
feel
feel
about
about-
work order.
Change them.
Change orders, I'm sorry. Okay, good. I think, other than that, that little assumptions they have, the last thing, I guess I can go along with that. Is there a motion?
Also move.
Second.
There's, in a second. Any further discussion? Karen, call the roll, please.
Mr. Burns,
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Pickman,
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item H1.
Under such matters, agenda item H1 is the approval of a contract with CS Companies. CNS Companies has submitted a proposal to
Really?
provide project, architectural, engineering, and design service for the construction of a 15,000 square foot childcare facility on the Commerce Park campus in Ogdensburg, New York. The childcare facility will be designed to provide approximately 125 childcare slots, which will also serve for testing and remedial plans to benefit children, parents, and businesses in the area. The cost to provide these services is as follows. Programming and schematic part would be $90,000. Design development, $110,000. Construction documents and bidding, $223,000. The Child Care Initiative Committee met on February 29th, 2024 to review the CNS Company's engineering proposal. The Child Care Committee made a recommendation to the full board of directors to pass a resolution approving the CS Company's architectural engineering and design services proposal of not to exceed amount $423,000. Staff recommends approval of this agreement with CS Companies.
Ms. Kennedy? Comment?
I'm just happy that we're finally here. It's
Yeah.
been a long time coming, so I'm thrilled. And they were really impressive, so.
Yeah,
Excited.
and you remember I was saying there's an environmental thing to this and an architectural, what it is, it's a review of costs. And that's the first thing we've got to get going. Then we can go to USDA and get that's the two things that remain for our grant application with USDA. So once this is passed, they can get started on that. Then we'll get a timeline and we'll meet again to kind of update everybody on that.
We're within, was it 600,000 of having all the funds we believe we need for this project?
Correct.
And this grant
Yes,
could
and
take care
when
of
we
it?
were in Syracuse, Patty had discussions with Leanne with strategic development that asked her to just research and see what could be done to make up that difference in funding support with that.
Check the couch cushions.
Good. Their motion
So moved.
made, seconded,
I'll second.
and seconded. Any discussion? Not, Karen, call the roll, please.
Ms. Kennedy,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Pittman,
Yes.
Mr. Byrd.
Yes. Is that it? I don't think I made notes on this one. We've already talked about it. Okay, we didn't have anything on the railroad. However, there's a grant coming our way.
Yes.
The border station we did on the HVAC. Anything else? Mr. Lawrence?
No, Mr. Chairman.
I do believe we need a short executive session to talk about possible contract negotiations with the firm.
Okay. And that would fall under 105. Help me here.
It's the employment of a particular person or company. Right.
There you go.
Thank you.
Employment of a person, company, or what's the other wording? Yeah,
Corporation.
thank you.
Okay.
Relatively short.
Okay.
Motion to go executive session,
I'll submit.
seconded.
Do you anticipate any
Any business? No,
business coming out?
no,
Okay.
no business to be conducted afterward. I don't anticipate any. I'm sorry, motion was made. Was there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, executive session. Notify, what's his name?
Unity Garden.
Andy, that we're out.
Or did you dump him entirely?
I think he said he was gonna send me some questions tomorrow morning, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just if he does forward to me, I can check him at home.
No, not tomorrow morning, Monday.
Oh, okay.
you back on?
Yeah.
Okay. We're out of executive session. Mr. Lawrence, any matters to attend to?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Any concluding comments from board members or authority staff? Our next meeting date is proposed for May 9th at 5 PM.
I can say I will not be here tonight through the next 10 days.
Was there a playoff somewhere?
I'll be in California, man.
Gotta check in my calendar. Is there playoffs?
Oh, I imagine. Yeah.
There is, yeah.
But
It's
I mean,
early.
there's no reason that you couldn't do
Anybody else?
I can pull the board,
you can poll.
Okay.
probably could wrap the meeting.
She could.
May 9th does look good, maybe.
It
We'll
does.
see, hopefully.
Okay.
I'm good with May 9th. Anything else? If not, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you. Jen, thanks for coming up.
My pleasure.